business that thrives on deadlines, the Christmas break offered us a lifeline, a chance to rest and renew amidst an atmosphere of faith, family, and friends. And underneath the tree at the Hayworth Hacienda, the new shirt and tie I'm wearing today. Special thanks to my bride, Miss Mary, who thankfully is everything I am not, including an outstanding fashion consultant. She understands quite well that without her sense of style, I would desperately need an adult version of Garanimals. So, thanks again, sweetie. Walking into our Newsmax TV newsroom this morning, it was clear my colleagues had on their game faces, suppressing the urge to go into tweener mode as we all find ourselves at work between Christmas and New Year's. Last week, though, the producers at NBC News kept in place their collective secular face. Our friends at Newsbusters report that the Christmas edition of NBC Nightly News offered 2 stories on the holiday, noteworthy for what they didn't say. Perhaps all too predictably, neither report mentioned the who or the why for Christmas. No mention of Christ or his birth, not even in the historical/sociological sense, as in Christians celebrate this holiday to commemorate the birth of Jesus. Nope. Instead, Christmas was called a holiday for gathering, quote, and that's what thousands upon thousands of people are doing around our iconic Christmas tree at Rockefeller Plaza, end quote. So there you have it. To our friends at NBC, Christmas is a big crowd visiting a big tree. Politically speaking, big media seems intent on picking a GOP presidential nominee 2 years prior to the actual event. How else to explain the prominence? It's also due to the results of that poll. In case you missed it, that poll puts Jeb Bush in the front-runner position at 23%, with Chris Christie 10 points behind. Conservatives must wonder exactly who was polled and how it was done, and that's when you need to read the fine print. The CNN ORC poll surveyed 1,011 adults nationwide, not voters, not likely primary voters. Moreover, those adults were given the chance to self-identify with either major party and self-identify their own political ideology. Add to that fact the realization the poll was conducted over a pre-holiday weekend, always a difficult time to come up with an accurate sample, and you begin to get the sense that the fix was in on this particular recipe for survey soup. But even if we accept the dubious results of this poll and attribute what appears to be a Bush advantage to that name appearing prominently in recent headlines, it is worth remembering that polls change based on the way in which campaigns are waged. And the 2016 presidential campaign has yet to begin. Of course, there are political campaigns and there are military campaigns. And in that latter category, our current commander-in-chief has announced that combat is over in Afghanistan. President Obama admits that our personnel on the ground there will continue to face risks, but he has decided, along with the leaders of the other coalition nations, to cease calling those risks combat-related. Yesterday in Kabul, the commander of Allied forces participated in a ceremony in which the coalition forces flag was rolled up, signaling in a symbolic sense that our combat there is wrapped up. Think of this as a new form of Morse code, not the telegraphic dots and dashes invented by Samuel Morse, but the course of action advocated years ago by Oregon Senator Wayne Morse. Senator Morse said of Vietnam, we should declare victory and come home. It appears President Obama has embraced a form of that advice, but Mr. Obama had omitted any mention of victory. Instead, he said that we ended our Afghan combat responsibly. 13 years, more than $1 trillion in treasure, and more than 2,000 American casualties, and probably more casualties on the way, though those deaths won't be called combat-related. Think of that as a post-Christmas gift from a compliant Washington press corps to our current commander-in-chief. Better yet, think of big media as the gift that keeps on giving to President Obama, even as the dominant communications culture doesn't want to discuss the true meaning of Christmas. At least, that's the way I see it.